What is your American dream?
My American dream. Wow. Piece of the pie. Definitely expanding our business, corporation, making it worldwide.
I've experienced so many stories of immigrants coming in, and I want to see everyone have the same opportunity to achieve their dream equally, no matter what demographic background they come from.
My American dream is I hope that one day we can actually live up to our pledge and have liberty and justice for everyone in America, because America is supposed to be the melting pot and the safe haven for immigrants that migrate over here.
My American dream is for people and animals to come together in unity and peace, honestly.
The whole idea of the American dream is that I have the ability and option to decide what I want my dream to be. And for me, that's what American dream is all about.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 4th. My name is Brad Bernstein. And who is exhausted? Who has a splitting headache from all of what's happened since last...
Me.
I saw you, Yonathan, of course.
Yes.
Vanessa.
I went to sleep. I was in and out of sleep all night.
Oh my
all
God!
Night, like one eye open.
I want you to know something. At 2 a.m, when Donald Trump is giving his speech that the election is being stolen from him, he's lucky I was in bed, because I would have taken my shoe and thrown it at the TV, broken that TV. But I'm too tired to get out of bed to throw anything at the TV.
What time did you end up going to sleep?
I went to sleep after his speech.
His speech? I saw his speech.
And I was so mad, and I didn't sleep well, and I woke up late this morning. I'm usually in the office by, 9:30 a.m. I'm up 7:30. I didn't get out of bed till almost 8:45, and then by the time I didn't even look at the news. I was so exhausted. And then finally, when I looked at my phone, I showered, I looked at my phone at 9:30. What a surprise! Biden's winning! What the hell happened, right?
Right.
Because I'm like, I didn't even want to look at the news.
I was scared. I was scared to look at the news in the morning. I stayed up till 4.
I kept refreshing Google. That felt like.
Yeah. And
I don't even know.
And by the way, I don't want to pat anybody on the back, but I'll pat myself on the back. I think I called it yesterday.
Said it.
Did I say exactly what was going to happen yesterday? Anybody goes back and watch the show yesterday. I said it's going to be. If Biden wins Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, it's going to be an early night. I said if it's a big blowout in Kentucky with McConnell, the Democrats are not going to do well with the Senate. McConnell blew the Democratic nominee out. And I said if it's not going to be Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia, this is going to take days, because it's going to be Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I said it yesterday, and they're not going to be done counting. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And then I even said in the end, I said Biden's going to win because the pollsters can't be wrong all the time. And here it is. And exactly as the pollsters said, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes on the other half of the schmooze, but it's exactly what the pollsters said. They said all of the mail-in votes, the drop-off votes, they're all going to be Democratic, and they're going to be Biden, and it's going to take time for those votes to be counted, and as those votes get counted, you're going to see a change in the election counts, and ultimately, that's what we're seeing today as of 5 o'clock. We're going to go through it all on the other side of the schmooze, but first, let's say hello to the squad.
Yeah, let's do it.
Squad up, everybody! What's going on? Deion Watson, squad up. Marlene Watt Russell, how are you? Alcila Enots, squad up. Willie L. Williams, bringing back Larry Sanders saying, hey, hey. Remember that show from the 80s? Hey now. We don't do hey now here. We do squad up. Latoya Laddie, squad up. Evans Michelle, squad up. How are you? Jessica Kalimi Joel. Zaragoza fam. And he has a very, very good comment. God is in control. Biden will be the next president. I'm going to tell you all about my thoughts about all of this, okay? Because even if Biden wins, I have such an extraordinarily large disappointment in America, but we're going to get to that in a little bit. Angela Barrett, squad up. Yo-yo. By the way, reminding everybody it is Hump Day, so we'll have some fun today, and we're glad that, things are looking a little better. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. How are you doing? Harriet, squad up. Let's see who else we got here. Deion Watson, squad up. I said Angela Barrett. Dwanette Bryant, what's going on? Jessica Kalimi Joel. Angela Barrett. Deion Watson. Maud Dukes. Abadoon Jamo. He's a new person. Abadoon Jamo. But he's not a new person because they have him as a top fan. I don't know if I've ever called him out before. Have I ever called out Abadoon Jamo, top fan?
Is that a new name?
I don't. It's a new name, but Abadoon Jamo is a top fan according to Facebook.
I see. Rich Kid is in here. Hasn't been in here for a while. So
yeah, Rich Kid. Yeah, well, Rich Kid's been. He lives the life. Rich Kid. He's got a lot of money, so he doesn't have time to join us every day. Abadoon Jamo, welcome. Squad up. Janet, Doreen, Morris, Lucas. Square up. I think she got a typo on her phone. Square up.
Square up.
Are we just squares?
All the way up.
Are we just squares?
No.
That has to
not on Hump Day.
That has to be a typo. I don't think she's calling us squares.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Cordella Douglas, how are you? And let's see what's going on YouTube. Celia Enot, squad up. How are you? Vivian, squad up. She is part of our crew. Elizabeth Jusso, squad up. How are you? Rosanna Tagliabue, squad up, also part of the crew. Vanessa Contreras, our whole crew on YouTube. Charmaine Wallace, she also, with a pre-comment of the day, Biden has kicked the pumpkin out.
I like that.
I like that too. All right, so we're gonna get into everything. I'm gonna break it all down for everybody in about 45 seconds, maybe a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, depending on how long Yo-Yo and Vanessa tells everybody what all of your jobs are while I get ready for some schmoozing.
Absolutely. There you guys heard it. You already know our jobs. Now your job. This is on all social media platforms. I need you guys to join the Brad Squad on Facebook. You see it right here. I need you all to go to Facebook, put it in the search engine, and join the VIP page. You'll be able to see different content that we won't put on other social media sites, but most importantly, you guys can throw in your questions anytime throughout the day, and we're going to ask those before any of the social media check-ins. You are a VIP member. In order to be that, though, you have to join the page. Now, on Facebook, I need you all to start sharing. This is so important. We're going to get a lot of news. If you guys don't even understand some of the stuff that's going on with the election, Brad is going to break it down. And not only that, he's also going to be helping people from all over the world. So please, the only way to have people find out about this information and hear Brad talk is if you guys share. This is the power that you guys have within your hands. So please click that little share button, that little arrow that's pointing to the right, and share it to anybody's page. You could share it in an inbox. You could copy the link, send it in a text message blast. I know you know friends and family all over the world that need information, that need help. And not only that, like I said, understand what's going on with the election, because some of the stuff is kind of difficult.
Excuse me, Yo-Yo. I have some angry squaddies. Dionne Reed.
Shout outs.
My love. My apologies.
Top fan.
Carol, the Tiger.
Oh my gosh.
My apologies.
Brad.
My apologies. Very, very sensitive the day after the election. Everybody, if I missed saying hello to them, extraordinarily sensitive squad. I love you all. My apologies. Continue, Yo-Yo.
Absolutely. You guys deserve it. All right. And just like what you did there, we love the interaction. We love that you guys talk to us in the comment section, talk to each other. We will read everything. We read everything. So thank you guys so much for calling Brad out on that. All right, and also please throw in your questions right now. This is the best time to do it in the beginning of the show because we get a lot of questions and we want to make sure that we can get to your question. All right, so throw it in early. Also show us some love, like the page, and also like the video. Like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, whatever emotion that you guys are feeling, make sure you show that on the video. Now, Ness-Quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube, Brad Squad, you should already be subscribed to the channel and make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that YouTube lets you know when Brad's show is on Monday through Friday, because you guys don't want to miss us. You already know all the knowledge and all the value that we bring you every single day, especially later on in the show when Brad answers your immigration questions. We know how much you guys enjoy that. So let's make sure to click that arrow right below and share. Because just how you found the show, there might be someone out there that doesn't know this show exists and needs help with their immigration questions, with their immigration cases. And you know that here is the source. We have the best immigration lawyer working with us, and you could be the person that connects someone to the Brad Show and gets their immigration question answered. In the comments on YouTube, you should make sure to ask your questions there. The squad is checking it out in the back, and we'll prepare for social media check-in. I'm also in the comments. Let's interact. Let me know what's going on. And you guys already know, you'll see I'm on YouTube in that chat giving you that thumbs up emoji. So make sure that you're always giving us those thumbs up. Right now, there are a lot more people tuned in than I see thumbs up. When you give us that thumbs up, that lets YouTube know that you like what you're watching here, that we're providing you great content, and that more people should know about the Brad Show. We want to help as many people as we can, and you can help us by sharing. You click that, copy the link, send it in a text message, send it to someone in a direct message. You never know who needs the information that we have on here. So make sure that you comment, that you're subscribed, and that you're giving us the thumbs up. We are looking out for it, YouTube. You'll also catch us on Instagram, where if you can't catch a full 2-hour show, you'll be able to find the best snippets of our show on Instagram at Brad Show Live. So make sure that you're following us there, where we do give some exclusive content and you don't want to miss it. You can also ask us questions in our direct message on Instagram, and someone will get the answers, or it'll be featured on our social media check-in. So let's get right into it. Schmoozing with Brad.
All right, so as of about 5 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time, about an hour ago, I don't know what's happened in the last hour, but I'm going to give you the update as I know it right now. Joe Biden has 253 electoral votes.
Oh, wow.
Donald Trump, 213. That means there is 17 votes, 17 electoral votes for Joe Biden to become the president of the United States. This is the map we're looking at right now.
Oh my God.
Okay, the states that are in play that we don't have a declared winner, because Michigan was declared for Biden around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Yes. Wisconsin was declared earlier today for Biden as well. This is where we stand as of right now. Georgia, North Carolina, 1 district in Maine, Arizona, and Nevada still, and Pennsylvania, still yet to be declared. If Biden is winning right now, by the way, in Nevada, Biden is winning right now in Arizona. Let's talk about Arizona and Nevada. That's going to be the quickest way for him to become the president of the United States of America. Those results, yes.
Is it the first person to get to 270?
No, it's not a race. Once you get to you can't. Okay. Once you hit 270, it doesn't come back. Okay, so you're there. Okay, so right now, Arizona and Nevada are expected to release their final. Sometime at 9 o'clock tonight, Arizona is going to update their vote count, and they expect Nevada and Arizona to complete all of the counting by Friday. If Biden holds on to his lead in Arizona, Biden holds on to his lead in Nevada, remember the votes that are being counted right now are the mail-in votes, the drop-off votes. And everybody believes the mail-in votes and the drop-off votes are skewing towards Biden. He is already in the lead in Arizona and Nevada. If he wins Arizona and Nevada on Friday, it's over. He is the president. It's over. He is the president of the United States of America. If he does not win Arizona or Nevada, and it becomes more contested Arizona or Nevada, then Biden has to rely on Pennsylvania to win. Pennsylvania right now, Trump is leading, but there's about 15% of the votes that have not been counted. Those are all mail-in and drop-off votes in and around the Pittsburgh and Philadelphia areas. We know that in and around the metropolitan areas of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, it's 80% plus Democrat.
Yes.
Is there enough mail-in votes to bring Biden back from behind in Pennsylvania? Trump suspects there is. You want to know why? Because he is bringing a lawsuit right now to stop the counting, to disenfranchise, voters in Pennsylvania, because he knows those votes that have not yet been counted are not votes for Trump.
That's wild.
But you know what? It doesn't matter, Pennsylvania, if Biden holds off in Arizona and Nevada. Pennsylvania becomes moot, irrelevant.
Yep.
They're also counting votes in Georgia. Trump is about 70,000 votes ahead in Georgia right now, but they have several 100,000 votes to count, all again, mail-in, drop-off. And where are these votes that are coming from the mail-in and drop-off? In and around the Atlanta, Decatur area. Who's living in that area, Yo-Yo?
It's Democrats.
It's Democrats.
Yep.
So it's possible that Biden makes a comeback in Georgia. We don't know yet. If Biden makes a comeback in Georgia and he loses Nevada and he loses Arizona and he loses Pennsylvania, he's likely to win. There's still one vote left in Maine that they're counting. He's likely to win Maine, and then he's still the president. So for Trump to win, he's got to hold off Biden in Georgia. He's got to come back in Arizona. He's got to come back in Nevada. And he's got to hold off Biden in Pennsylvania when all the votes that still need to be tallied are the mail-ins from Philadelphia. It is unlikely at this point that the pumpkin is going to be the president in January. I mean, we don't know for sure. The game ain't over till it's over, as they say, right? Until the ref blows the whistle and the game's over, the game's not over. But right now, Joe Biden should be preparing to be the next president of the United States of America. Now, Trump and his campaign, they're going to start calling for recounts. They're going to start asking courts to invalidate results. Now, courts can't invalidate results. Judge isn't going to go in and start counting. What a judge can do, though, is ask for a recount. They can sue and ask for recounts. They can sue and try to invalidate some of the ballots and do a recount. If they do a recount, just historically, in 2016, for example, Trump is asking for a recount in Wisconsin and Michigan. In 2016, Hillary Clinton asked for a recount in Wisconsin. They did a recount, and it changed the results by 35 votes. So, recounts don't really change much. In Florida in 2000, remember when I told you that, Bush beat Gore by a couple hundred votes? They did a recount in Florida. It didn't really change change the results much. You want to know why?
Yeah.
It's the theory of Albert Einstein. Okay, and it's not E equals MC squared. It's if you do the same thing again and again and expect a different result.
Insanity.
That's insanity. So we're going to recount all the votes again, and we're going to get the same freaking result.
Wild.
That's
Wow.
what's going to happen. Within a margin of error of 20, 30, 50, 100 votes. But you're not going to get, so I'm not worried about a recount. You're not going to get a situation where all of a sudden there's a recount and Wisconsin or Michigan, or if it happens in Arizona, all of a sudden they say, we recounted, and guess what? We found 100,000 more votes for Trump. Trump's the winner. Not going to happen. I mean, they may
here on YouTube. I'm sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
Brad. There's 29 Super C commenting on Pennsylvania. My drama in Pennsylvania. Biden has a lot of votes in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh still to be counted, but can he turn over 500K votes? Time will tell.
That's right. But you want to know what? I really believe. Okay. By the way, the votes that need to be counted in Arizona, you know where they're from? Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Who's living in Phoenix?
Yep.
Democrats. So, the mail-in votes in all of these states are from the major metropolitan areas.
Yeah.
That lean
In
Democrat.
that picture, that's where I had a little bit of hope when I saw it was like Phoenix County. I'm like, okay, we might be on something.
So I don't expect a recount to do anything. Assuming Trump is going to lose, the only way he wins is if courts start invalidating votes and saying these votes don't count. And if you start invalidating vote, because then that would be stealing an election. That would be disenfranchising people. You would have, they would have to board up all the stores again on Fifth Avenue and Madison Avenue because at that point Trump would be, to me, a leader who is not a legitimate winner of the presidency. That is the only way at this point. So to me, I don't see that happening. And
did you hear about Trump canceling the Johnson Amendment, which is why like a lot of the preachers are saying God wants you to vote for Trump because basically they would get like a tax cut.
I don't know what the Johnson Amendment is.
So here I have it. So it's a provision in the U.S. tax code since 1954 that prohibits all 501c3 nonprofit organizations from endorsing or opposing political candidates. So like now preachers are all talking about, hey, God wants you to vote for Trump because of stuff like that, which is why he even has some of the rappers that are coming up, because it's really all selfish stuff. It's not for the people. It's wild. Like he's finding different ways and different pockets to get,
It doesn't matter.
To try and win.
It doesn't matter. The pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, the light inside the jack-o'-lantern is going to be blown out very soon, and we're going to roll that guy right out of the White House. That's basically what's going to happen. All right. Meanwhile, the Democrats are expected to keep the House of Representatives, although dozens of seats have not been called. The Senate, which is Republican, looks like it's going to stay Republican. I don't think the Democrats are going to win the 4 seats that they need to take over the U.S. Senate. In Arizona, the Democrat Mark Kelly is the winner, which bodes well for Biden if the Democratic senator, who was not the incumbent, not the person in the Senate, he was the challenger, beat the incumbent Republican. That means people were voting Democrat in Arizona. It bodes well for Biden. Also, former Governor John Hickenlooper flipped Colorado's Senate seat from red to blue, red being Republican, blue meaning Democrat. However, the Democrats thought they were going to win Maine. Susan Collins, Republican, won. They thought they may win in South Carolina. Lindsey Graham won. They thought they may win in Montana. Steve Bullock, the former governor of Montana, lost. So 3 very, very competitive races that the Democrats thought they would flip to take control of the Senate. They did not. In Georgia, I believe one Republican is going to be the winner. There's going to be a runoff between the other hopefully the Democrat will win, but it still may not be enough to flip the Senate. The only thing I can say is this. In 2018, we didn't think the Democrats were going to take over the House, and then weeks and weeks later, after all the mail-in votes were counted, the Democrats ended up having a good night. So hopefully it ends up being a good night for the Democrats in the Senate as well. We'll see what happens. But
that's the energy.
But right now, all our eyes, there we go, all our eyes should be on Arizona and Nevada. Because if Arizona and Nevada stays blue, meaning Democrat, and we'll know this by Friday, our long 4-year nightmare will be over.
Finally!
Now, I will say this. It will be a political victory, but it will be, at least to me, a hollow victory. Because after everything that we have gone through in the United States as a nation, with everything that happened in the last 4 years caused by Donald Trump, I would have believed that Americans would have said, this is not what I'm about, and this is not what America is about. We don't want this man to be president. Yet it was an election that if Biden holds out, wins by the smallest of margins. And what a disappointment I have in Americans.
Our country.
Our country. What a disappointment I have.
Believe it. I couldn't believe it.
And now I got to walk down the street, and one out of every 2 people I got to look at and go, you're an a-hole. You're an a-hole. You're okay. You're an a-hole.
In the Facebook comments, I have Keisha Mitchell saying Trump doesn't want to lose because he's afraid he will get charged for all the crimes he's committed. That's what Yo-Yo's always saying.
He may very well be. He may very well be. And
even Jessica Leamy said that I swore this election would have been a landslide, not a sitting on edge of a chair election. So that's what we all thought. Like I just knew that it wouldn't be this many Americans that would still vote for this blatant racist, homophobic idiot of a person. It's wild to me.
All right. By the way, before we get to Hump Day, a bit of unfortunate news with the Form I-944. Remember I announced the other day that there was an injunction. Every day this thing is a yo-yo. Well, the 7th Circuit, which is the appeals court to the Northern District of Illinois, they set aside the injunction, which means now, again, you got to file the I-944. But Biden becomes president. Hopefully he'll get rid of it. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
All right. Let's get the camels out of here. All right, let's have some fun.
Bring them out.
All right, hopefully a new president.
Hump Day.
Yo, and Vanessa, before we start Hump Day, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Go for it.
Are you going to be tired come January of just doing regular news and not getting angry every day? No pumpkin news, no Trump news? Or is it going to be refreshing to you? Are you going to be like, damn, I got nothing to talk about?
Refreshing. I think it's going to be refreshing.
After the year we've had.
Yeah, right.
What? Right after the 2020.
I mean, we could use a Mr. Rogers in the White House, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
We could use a little calmness in our life, right?
Yes, I'm okay with it. It's better for our health.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, it's Hump Day, guys. Strap yourself in. A Miami model walked the streets with a phone. Did you see this, Yo-Yo? Hidden in her back pocket to see how many people were going to stare at her ass while she was out walking about. Footage gathered by model Alexis Morgan catches a number of men taking a look at her derriere as she strolls past. At the beginning of the clip, she explains, I'm going to see how many stares my booty gets before tucking the phone into her back pocket. The compilation video shows several men turning around to gawk in her direction as Alexis strolls through a supermarket and past the bar filled with drinkers. The trend to film how many people are caught on camera staring from a phone in the back pocket, it originated on TikTok. The model now has more than 4 million followers on Instagram.
Wow.
People were left in stitches by some of the hilarious reactions she caught on camera, with one man caught grinning in appreciation while two drinkers appear to follow her with a lingering eye as she walks past the sports bar. Many praised the last man caught on camera, who was seen peeking from behind a set of trolleys. One person wrote, "I'm crying the last one. He almost broke his neck." Another agreed, replying, "It was the last one for me. Dude turned his head a whole 180 degrees. Vanessa, you're a woman. Do you notice this stuff?
I mean, yeah, I definitely notice these things, but I mean, I'm not going out of my way to film it and have it go viral. Yeah.
That's,
attention seeking.
It reminds me of the Seinfeld episode. It just reminds me, I haven't watched Seinfeld in a very long time. It reminds me of the Seinfeld episode when George was staring at this woman's cleavage and got caught staring at this woman's cleavage. And Jerry says to him, "George, it's like looking at the sun. You look, you turn around. You don't sit there and stare. It's just, you look at the sun. It's like a second ago. I mean, you don't go."
Yeah. You get like 1.5 seconds.
It's like what? It's like if
you gotta make it good.
Right. It's like looking at the sun. You look, you go.
It's wild.
Before it burns you.
I wonder, you're a good-looking guy, yo. Does that happen to you too? You get women staring at you?
I mean, it's definitely
it's different.
Not as,
it's different, right?
It's different.
It's not as common as it is.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's not as aggressive. Like, guys are super aggressive with this. I'll walk down the streets here, and they literally are just like, hey, or just look, like, you know what I mean? It's wild to me.
I think guys are pigs. I mean, I've been out to dinner with women, and I walk in, and it's obvious I'm with this woman. And they don't give a crap. I can turn around. I can turn around for a second and get a drink. There's 10 guys talking to the woman I'm with. I'm like, dude.
They'll talk
right
to them in front.
Yeah. I'm like, guys are a bunch of freaking animals. What's with that?
Yeah. And it annoyed that. I think
that
that's
annoys
like
me.
Disrespect.
Well, you guys are gentlemen, so it's different. You wouldn't know. You guys are gentlemen.
I don't do that. But that annoys me about men. I think men are animals.
Yeah. Same, Brad. Same.
You agree too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I don't go out as much as I used to.
But now let me ask you a question, because you live with your boyfriend, so obviously you go out.
Yeah.
You're together. You're presumably a monogamous couple. I assume you are. And so you go out. I assume that happens too. Does your boyfriend get jealous? Does he get mad? Right? Because you're a beautiful woman.
No, he doesn't get jealous. He actually enjoys the fact that I can still seek other people's attention and they can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it.
It's a different level.
That's
a different level of savage.
Right, because he's confident he's confident, right?
Exactly.
But Ness-Quick, is it the same the other way around? If a girl is like all up on his jock, like at the bar, like when you like, you know what I mean, like in front of you, or if you walk out to the bathroom, do you feel that same way? Like, damn, yeah, my man's got it, or you get jealous?
Yeah, I'm not a jealous person. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me.
Look at that. Look at that.
Right. Excuse me, unicorn coming through. Get out of here, right? Give a little elbow. Give a little elbow when no one's looking.
The unicorn has arrived. 1 in a million.
Exactly.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I can see you doing that. I can totally see you doing that.
Meanwhile, a woman in Georgia selling a bikini online was asked for a photo of it being worn so the man could see what it looked like before buying. So she gave him exactly what he asked for, sort of. Tess Wilson had posted a photo of a black swimsuit in size small on Facebook Marketplace for $5 before receiving a message from a potential buyer that she had originally planned to ignore. It read, "Any pics with being worn, I'd like to see what it looks like on before buying." Now, Tess was having none of this man's request and paid no attention to it. But her brother seized the opportunity to take revenge. Her brother Cade decided to fill in as the model instead, and his expert modeling has been compared to a Victoria's Secret model's professionality. After the sibling hatched the plan, Tess replied, "Sure, 1 second," before sending a series of photos of her brother Cade modeling the string bikini like a pro, striking some beach babe poses for the inquisitive shopper. She said, so I'm selling a bathing suit on Facebook yard sale, and a man comments and asks me if he can see a picture of it being worn before buying. Of course, I was going to ignore the comment, but Cade couldn't resist. Yo-Yo.
That's hilarious.
Would you do that?
No.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, I'm good.
I
like her response.
I'm gonna tell you something. Cade is more.
Right.
Cade is more of a man than I am. I don't think I would. I don't think I would do it. First
Look
of
at
all,
he's just so confident.
First of all, I don't
Confident
even
in his
believe
bikini.
I would even fit into that bikini, let alone. I think I would break it.
Brad, do we have a new contest? You see Brad in a bikini?
Right.
No, I'm having it.
All of a sudden, everyone's like, "What happened to Bradshaw Live? He hasn't been on for months."
He's on that island, remember?
Exactly. Well, I don't have to strip and go into the ocean and do the show from under the ocean, right?
So happy to hear it.
Yes.
So happy
I'm going to be here in New York with everybody. Meanwhile, a woman discovered that her boyfriend of 4 years cheated on her most of 2020. A video detailing the bizarre infidelity reveal currently boasts more than 1 million views. The incriminating footage begins innocently enough with a selfie of her boyfriend, who is sporting sunglasses. Then things take a turn, however, when she reveals the reflection of a girl's leg poking out of a car window in one of the lenses. She captioned the clip, "Check the reflection in your boyfriend's sunnies, ladies." The videographer later described in the comment section how she brought the bombshell to her beau's attention. Sydney, of course, called him out and said her boyfriend denied everything. "He called me crazy. He said that was a friend's girlfriend and that he's allowed to also have friends." Wow, gaslighter, right? You know what gaslighting is,
Wow.
right? When you're caught, you know what gaslighting is. This guy's a gaslighter. When you're caught and then you just manipulate it to make the person think they're crazy.
You have to lie
right?
till the end.
Yeah.
You have to
Listen,
stick
that's
to
a
the lie.
gaslighter right
to
here.
That story.
Now, Kim
That's
said
my
she
story.
did,
I'm sticking with it.
Now, Kim said she discovered a week later that he had been philandering for the past month with 5 different women. Woo! This man gets around. Needless to say, the scorned woman's detective skills garnered her more than 175,000 likes and sympathetic responses from the TikTok peanut gallery. Said one commenter, "Guys always thinking they could pull a fast one on us. Don't know why he's got the sunnies on. He's not that bright."
I can't.
So what do you
Like that.
so what do you think? What do you think, Yo-Yo and Vanessa?
TikTok, I love TikTok.
Is
You
it
find
great?
so many random things out there.
That,
But he got caught. Fool.
I'm not gonna lie. I could already tell you exactly how he felt. His stomach like fell to the ground when she came out and showed him that post, because that's like, damn, I really got caught for something dumb, a dumb selfie. Guys are dumb, man. You got to be smarter if you're gonna cheat. Just saying.
Meanwhile,
You have to be smart.
meanwhile, it turns out that some people, by the way, they've been using some dating apps to reach voters in swing states. Ben Wyrath, a 29-year-old software engineer in the Bay Area, used the popular dating app Hinge to get out the vote. He set his location to a city in the battleground state, Pennsylvania, where he is knowledgeable about the voting rules. He then used photos of himself with animals in a bid to motivate people to connect with him through Hinge banking, a spin on phone banking, as a form of political campaigning to encourage people to vote. People started using Hinge for this kind of voter outreach because users can easily set their location down to the neighborhood or county with the free version of the app. Let me ask you a question. How would you like it if you were on a dating app and you think you meet somebody and then they're just telling you to go vote for somebody? I'd be like, I don't want to. Now I don't. Now I wouldn't change my vote, but I would make that person feel better. Like, now I'm not going to vote for your candidate. I don't care who the hell you want me to vote for. That would annoy me.
But you would still.
That'd be a sweet start. That's a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
That's a great icebreaker.
Be like, no, thank you. I would unmatch.
Yeah.
Unmatch you. And finally,
Oh, goodness.
in a last-minute, desperate attempt to motivate people to vote, some celebrities decided to post some sexy photos. Kylie Jenner posted a skimpy bikini pic accompanied by the caption, "But are you registered to vote?"
Oh God, I hate these.
God. Meanwhile, YouTube star Tana Manju may have committed a crime when she told her 5.5 million subscribers, if you send me proof you voted for Biden, I'll send you a nude photo.
Oh my gosh.
Dancer Jenna Dewan, wife of Channing Tatum, posted a selfie in her underwear saying her postpartum diet includes, you'll never guess, voting. This follows an awkward and cringy PSA from celebs who got naked in an effort to get people to vote, with participants like Sarah Silverman, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Rock, and Tiffany Haddish. Meanwhile, rapper Lizzo had been sharing a steady stream of stylish election-themed snaps over the past month, starting with an anti-Sam getup in mid-October, complete with star-spangled hat and blue blazer. She captioned the Instagram post, I see you using your power to protest and your freedom of speech.
Loved it.
Did any of this motivate you to vote?
No.
I think this is self-serving. I think, by the way, I don't think it motivates anyone to vote. My personal opinion, I think it's self-serving to the celebrity because they do something that's attached to voting, so they know they'll get the publicity for it. I think it's all self-serving.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
they'll get the shares.
Annoys the hell out of me. That like those type of posts annoy the hell out of me. It's like, man, like the caption is like, man, just had the best dinner. I cooked a steak and asparagus, and it's so beautiful outside, and it's literally just them in like a pool, like half naked. It's like, what's that even have to do with the whole post? I hate posts like that.
I find a lot of social media is so BS because it's not real. None of it's real.
Yeah.
None of it is real. It's all fake to make you believe it's real, but it's all fake crap.
Yes.
The only thing that's real on social media that I can confirm, this live show, because we are who we are.
There you go.
Here, right now.
Right? You can't.
And it's live.
It's live. We can't make the crap up,
that.
right? This is who we are, right?
That. Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Meanwhile, by the way, later in the show, I'm going to speak with music artist and producer Tessellated about his career, his experience as a dual American citizen, and his thoughts on the current state of American politics. But right now, in today's Braducation, I'm going to answer the question, how long after I get married can I file for my spouse? You can file for your spouse the next day, and you should. People think that they should wait because somehow it's going to make it look like it's more of a real marriage. Quite frankly, if you're in a real marriage, it's going to be real if you file the day after you get married, and it's going to be real if you file 6 months after you get married, and it's going to be real if you file 1 year after you get married. So you might as well file right after you get married. If, on the other hand, it is something other than a real marriage, whether you wait 1 day to file, 6 months to file, or a year to file, I can almost assure you, you will not get through. The Immigration Service will figure it out, so you're only hurting yourself and fooling yourself. Quite frankly, don't outsmart anybody. Don't try to outsmart yourself. If you're married and you want a green card, get married, file right. All right, by the way, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. What can I do? How can I help you? You know how you can help me help others right now?
How?
We have exactly one person on hold. That means, yes. What that means is that I'm going to take all of your calls, but I'm only going to take one call from Anne Marie, who's been on hold for about 20 minutes. After that, the show's over. So if you want to continue the show, because we only have one person on hold, I think everybody must be exhausted. Never happened before. You know, call right now. You see my head on the top of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's body holding a sign. You call Bradshaw Live right now. You can get your immigration questions answered.
Absolutely. Yeah, what? Call, y'all, 1-800-529-5465. Get your free answers.
Yes, listen to Yo-Yo. Yeah, what?
Right.
Call 1-800-529-5465. I love that. Yeah, what? Call 1-800-529-5465. Ask me. What?
I don't think Record that. We're gonna use that bit. Yeah, what?
Yeah, what? Call 1-800-529-5465. I love that. Vanessa, how would you tell people to call 1-800-529-5465 in 15 seconds before I start taking some calls?
This is where you need to be. And most importantly, we need your questions asked now. Call 1-800-529-5465 to get the answers to your immigration question.
All right. This is how I would do it.
How would you do it, Brad?
Yeah, what? Call 1-800-529-5465. And you got a question, I got an answer. Call us right now. We're going to answer your immigration questions. Let's go to Anne-Marie, please. Anne-Marie, how are you?
I'm good, Brad.
What's going on?
Boy, a lot of things has been going on, Brad.
Yeah, tell me.
I was asking a question for myself, and I'm asking one for a friend.
Okay.
All right, this one is for a friend. They've been temporarily placed in a shelter, but they have a pending adjustment of status. They said if how long they can stay in the shelter without becoming a public charge, and if they're placed. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
And if they're placed in housing, if it will be a public charge as well.
It would be a public charge with the 944 forms. It would be a public charge. Don't worry about it right now because Biden, as president in January, is going to change all of those public charge laws. Nevertheless, those 944 forms are going to go bye-bye. I can almost assure you. And we don't want anybody leaving housing or leaving the shelter to go live on a street just because they're scared about public charge provisions. So for right now, stay where you are.
Okay. And another question. A friend of mine, he got arrested, right?
Yes.
But the case was dismissed. But he said he pled guilty to the charge.
Well, if the case was dismissed, then he didn't plead guilty. If he pled guilty, then the charge wasn't dismissed. It's one or the other. You can't have both ways. Let's go back to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie. But Anne-Marie, you got to do me a favor, okay? All the kids screaming in the background. Thank you. You can't, Anne-Marie, you there? Anne-Marie.
Hello?
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Yes, Brad.
Yeah. You can't.
He pled guilty, but the charge was dismissed.
You can't. No, you don't understand. There's no such thing as plead guilty and charge dismissed. It's one or the other.
So I should let him call you, right?
Yes, because you can't.
And he said that he applied for a visitor's visa, but on the visitor's visa, the agency didn't put it on the visitor's visa.
All right, so he's all messed up because number one, you can't plead guilty and then have it dismissed. It's one or the other. Then he made a misrepresentation and lied, so he's got all sorts of problems. Tell him to call me. All right.
Okay, Brad. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Stacy. Stacy in Pittsburgh. Stacy.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, Brad. I just want to ask a question for my cousin.
Yes.
She wanted to know if her grandmother could file for her.
There's no such thing as grandma filing for anybody.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. But you can, but how old's your cousin?
She's 30. She's also married too.
No such thing as grandma filing for 30-year-olds.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
All right. Sorry about that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Candace in Brooklyn. Candace.
Hi, Brad. Good night. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. Could be better. Okay. Everybody's like high on anxiety, waiting for these results.
Yep. Everyone's on edge.
So I had a.
But I feel pretty confident right now. But we'll see what happens.
Well, is it true Arizona came in blue? Came in Democrat?
It's coming in Democrat. It has not been declared Democrat yet. But if you were watching earlier, if Biden does win Arizona and does win Nevada, he's the president. And we believe that's what's going to happen, but we don't know for another day or two.
Okay. So, first question. Do you believe that the fees, do you think that the injunction will still remain in for the month of November? My husband
For
wants to
filing
put
fees?
it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to stay at
It's going
the
to stay for a
7
while.
something.
Yes.
Okay. Brain freeze. What was my next? My next question was, Lord, shoot, I think I forgot my next question.
We're only left.
Yeah. Okay. What I think I wanted to. Oh, what is the time frame for if you are filing for your mother? If you're filing, if you're a citizen and your mother's in the islands, what's the time frame for you?
Year and change.
Do you think filing for the siblings, do you think that's going to ever go back to a decent time frame?
No.
Why? Why does it take 15 years?
Because they give 40,000 green cards a year to siblings of U.S. citizens. And when you say that's that 40,000, let's say you file for your brother, and your brother's married and has 3 kids. That's 5 green cards right from the top. Okay, so they estimate that there's about, if there's a 15-year wait and they do 40,000 a year, so the estimate's got to be that there's 600,000 people online for green cards who are filed for by their brothers and sisters. So if you think about it, waiting online for a movie, they only have 40,000 tickets a year. The line moves very slowly. It's exactly why it's so slow. So when you ask me, do I think it's going to get better? The answer is no. I don't see a situation where there's a law change and the law says we're going to give more green cards to brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. I don't see that happening.
No. Okay, let me ask you another question. If you are filing to become a citizen, but say, for instance, you committed a crime 15, 20 years ago, is it just 5 years of good character is needed?
No, because you may have committed a crime 30 years ago that may make you a deportable alien. They can put you in deportation. You may have committed a crime after 1990 that's an aggravated felony that bars you from ever becoming a U.S. citizen. So 30 years ago is 1990. If you have an aggravated felony after November 17th, 1990, you can never become a citizen. So, that when you have any criminal record and you're going to file for your citizenship, you need to speak to a lawyer first. All right?
Okay, because you kind of open up a can of worms.
Correct. Let them come and see me. Let them come and see me. Oh. All right? Thanks for calling.
All right, Brad. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, let's go to Dan in Seattle. Dan.
Yeah, hello, Brad. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. Yeah, and by the way, thank you for what you're doing. You're very helpful to all of us here. I don't know how many times people have the opportunity. Thank you. I see there are not very many people on the call, so I'll do that now.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, my first question is, I heard some talk that this fee for citizenship was changing.
Yeah, there was, and then there was a lawsuit that Trump did not follow, or the Trump administration did not follow the proper procedures in changing the filing fees. So there was an injunction put on it, and that injunction is being held until the resolution of the case, which will take months and months and months. And assuming Biden becomes president, it's not going to change. Now, maybe Biden changes filing fees in the future, but certainly for the month of November, that's the old filing fees. I don't know what January, February, March, April, May will bring.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now, my second question is it ever a bad thing to file the N-400 with letters of recommendations? Well, they're not real letters of recommendations, but they're letters of good moral characters. Let's say from my employer. And
why do you need letters of good moral character?
I don't think I need it, but
in other words, if you come into your citizenship interview, you've never been arrested, you've never done anything unlawful in your life, you pay your taxes, you don't owe child support, or if you do owe child support, you're up to date on it. There's nothing in your history that would say you're a bad person, then the presumption is you're a good person. You don't need those letters.
Okay.
Only when you have a whole bunch of arrests, or
Okay.
some other issue where that when you go to that interview, they're going to say you're a person of bad moral character, and you say, well, I got this whole stack of letters from people that say I'm a good guy. Here it is. And you
Sure.
need to rebut
On
it.
that note, sir, I have a ticket from driving from 4 years ago, driving without insurance.
All right. Well, that doesn't make you a bad person.
Okay. But what would be your advice, though? Do you think I should include, because I have great letters of recommendation.
I don't think you need it. I wouldn't submit it. But what you can do is bring it to your interview. And if you feel there's any issue with your moral character because you have a ticket for not paying your insurance, you can say, well, I have all these letters with me. Would you like to see them?
Okay. Now, my last question, since there's no one else waiting on the call.
Well, we have a lot of people, but I'm happy to talk to you now. As soon as I said there was nobody, everyone went, whoosh, all called.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I go ahead and I file the paperwork with immigration for my brother. I know this is going to take a long time, and I'm willing to wait. Does that put in jeopardy, let's say in 2 years from now, he goes to apply for a visa?
Yes. Because he's shown an intent to get a green card, so it's less likely.
So that's the catch, huh?
Yeah. Not to say he won't get it, but it's much less likely that he will get a visitor's visa.
Okay, so he has to overcome that burden.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's go to Sandra in Beltsville, Maryland. Sandra.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
Good. What's going on?
I'm calling because in 1993 I pleaded guilty for credit card theft. I want to see what are my options.
You pled guilty to credit card theft.
Yes.
And what year was this?
1993.
1993. What was the allegation that you used credit cards that were not yours?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What was the allegation against you for the credit card theft? I mean, did you use credit cards that were not yours? Was that basically what happened? How much was the value in the credit cards that you used?
I think it was $1,000.
$1,000. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when did you get your green card?
1982.
1982. And how old were you when you got your green card?
I was 12.
Okay. Was your mom or dad a citizen before you were 18, by the way?
I'm not sure. Both of them passed away already.
Okay. But do you believe they were or you don't know?
No, I'm not sure, no.
You're not sure. Okay. And is that your only arrest ever in your life?
Yes.
All right. So, have you, excuse me, have you ever applied for citizenship?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have not tried because I'm a little bit nervous about that.
All right. So,
and I haven't renewed my green card either because of that.
All right. So let me let you start sleeping well at night. You have one crime of moral turpitude that was committed more than 5 years after your entry into America. That is not a deportable offense then. Why is it a crime of moral turpitude? You have a theft offense. I assume you did not go to jail for more than a year. I should have asked that question. Did you go to jail for more than a year?
No, I didn't go to jail.
Okay.
It was probation.
Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. All right. So it would only prevent you from becoming a citizen well, let me take it even a step back. You only have a concern if the crime that you committed is an aggravated felony or is going to make you deportable. Okay? Number one, it's not an aggravated felony. Why? Because in theft or fraud offenses, you're an aggravated felon if you were sentenced to jail for more than a year or the loss to the victim was more than $10,000. The victim here is the credit card company. You said it was $1,000, so the credit card company lost $1,000, so it is not an aggravated felony. It is a crime of moral turpitude. A crime of moral turpitude is something that you do with a bad intent, a bad mind. Obviously, somebody steals a credit card. I'm not calling you a bad person, but this is life. This is what the law says. Somebody steals a credit card, uses it knowing that it's not theirs. That's a bad mind, bad intent. It's a crime of moral turpitude. What the law says is that if you have one crime of moral turpitude and it occurred more than 5 years after your entry into America, safe. If it happened less than 5 years, not safe. If you have two crimes of moral turpitude, you're not safe, but you only have this one arrest ever. So you're perfectly okay. When I say safe, let me make clear what safe is. Safe means they can't deport you on that. They can find you inadmissible if you left the United States and traveled back. There's different laws for traveling into America than there is if you just stay here. So, assuming you're not traveling, safe. It happened more than 5 years after your entry into America. You've had a green card for more than 7 years. It's not an aggravated felony. File your citizenship. You're fine. I can help you.
Can I do this through you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Imwan. Emwan.
Yes, good afternoon, Brad. How are you?
How are you? How do you pronounce your name?
My name is Amwa.
Amwa. Okay, nice to meet you.
Same here. I have two questions, actually, I wanted to ask. I filed for my citizenship, right? And for the section D where it has good moral character,
Right.
where it talked about, have you been arrested, detained? I put no, but I did have a traffic ticket that I paid in 2017.
That's not an arrest unless they pulled you out of the car and brought you to the police station.
Okay, they never did that. Okay. Then the second question I have is, when do I start studying for my test?
Now. I mean, you don't have to start studying. I mean, I don't know. You know, how good of a student are you? I mean, are you the type of person who can cram something in 2 weeks?
Yeah, my GP is 4. I'm on a good GP.
Okay, fine. So 2 weeks before.
Okay.
2 weeks before.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so
You're very
much,
welcome.
and thank you for the job you're doing, especially people from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian,
Yes.
so I am grateful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Be well. We have a lot of Nigerians watching. Trisha in Hinesville, Georgia. Trisha.
Hi, good night.
How are you?
All right, I'm good. Kind of stuck between my daughter. She got adopted in September. The adoption actually started like from last year, but the first court date we got was March, but because of COVID, they had to give us a later date. She turned 18 in May. So adoption was finalized and everything. The Vital Records Office, however, they were like, they couldn't issue me a change of, with the name change and everything.
Wait. You're adopting a child.
No, my husband adopted the child. This is my child. We're from Jamaica.
Why is your husband adopting your child?
He's adopting all 3 of my kids, but my 2 little ones, the father will not sign off on their adoption, so he adopted the first one.
Is this to get them green cards?
No, they live here. They came up.
They all have green cards already.
Yes, they have a 10-year green card
Okay,
here.
so this is more about them becoming a citizen automatically.
Technically, no, he doesn't have kids, so I mean, he's been raising them for over 5 years.
No, I'm saying you're calling. Your question is they have green cards. At first, I thought he's doing this to get them a green card, but they already have green cards.
Yes, that's correct.
So what you're doing is by doing this adoption by a U.S. citizen, that they would become automatic citizens if the adoption was signed off by a judge before their 18th birthday.
That would be true, but I applied for my oldest, yes, because I applied for citizenship this month.
No, it would be your
So my
husband. It would be your husband because he's a citizen, I presume.
Yes, he's born here. Yes.
So what is the question that you have today?
All right. Based on what the Vital Records Office is telling me, they're telling me that I have to talk to an immigration lawyer because even though she was adopted here, they cannot issue a change of, I guess it wouldn't be a birth certificate, but whatever they do, the certificate showing his name and the name change, basically.
But you have an order from a judge ordering that.
The judge gave me the adoption.
Because you can't go to Vital Statistics because the child wasn't born in where you in Georgia. The child wasn't born in Georgia. The child was born in Jamaica. So,
yes.
So for life, the child will have a birth certificate in one name and an order certified order from a judge saying your name is now this. And those 2 documents together are proof of her name.
Okay.
You're not going to amend. You can't amend a birth certificate from a birth that happened in Jamaica in the state of Georgia. Now, what you also can do, is if we have a certified adoption certificate that was signed by a judge before the child's 18th birthday, and we have proof that that child lives in the same home as the adopted parent, which I assume, who's a U.S. citizen, that child automatically derived U.S. citizenship. You then file an N-600 with immigration, and on that N-600, you would change the child's name, and the child would get, or now it's an adult or whatever your daughter's name is, would get a certificate of citizenship in your husband's name. And then she would use that certificate of citizenship as proof of her name for the rest of her life.
Okay.
Got it?
All right. Yeah, I got it. The thing was, she, as I said, she already turned 18 by the time everything was finalized.
So if she was already it's when the judge signed it. So if she was already over 18, then she changes her name when she naturalizes. How long she had a green card?
She just had it a year. She got 9 more years to go.
So then you got 4 more years, and then she can change her name on the naturalization.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go to Bunja in Chicago. Bunja.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Thank you so much. Brett. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Bunja. What's up?
Yeah, I have two questions. I filed for my I-715, like four months ago, but I want to go to my country for holiday, but, do you think it's safe to go to my country?
It's the I-751. You got a receipt back extending your green card 18 months, right?
Yeah, I got the extension,
Okay, yeah, as long as you have the extension, travel with the extension and the expired green card and a valid passport, you're good to go.
Yeah, how long do I need to be out of the country?
Don't stay out for more than 2 or 3 months.
Okay. And the second question, I'm sorry, I have to, file my N-400 in a couple of months, like 5-6 months. Do you think right now, if I got a divorce, it's going to affect the
because
application?
if you get a divorce, then you're no longer in a bona fide marriage with your wife, and in order to become a citizen based on 3 years of permanent residence, you got to be living with her. So that would affect that, obviously.
But I'm safe to travel, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Jesse in Tampa.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me, Brad? Yes?
I said hello. Yes, I hear you well.
So I have a friend. He's worried about his criminal case, and he said if he could be a citizen anytime soon. He has a Class C misdemeanor with it's dismissed.
He has a Class C misdemeanor that was dismissed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
What was the Class C misdemeanor for?
It's like an empty bag of weed. Like he was in a different county.
Okay. So you had some weed. You got arrested. The case was dismissed.
No, not no weed. No weed at all. He drove off. It was a ticket. He drove off that day. He got a lawyer and got it dismissed. But some empty bags, no weed.
All right. Whatever he was arrested for, the case was dismissed. When did this happen?
February.
Okay.
This year.
And how long has he had a green card?
He got his green card the same month.
The same month. All right. Well, citizenship you can't get a citizenship yet. If the case was dismissed, his green card is safe. He's perfectly fine. He doesn't have a criminal record. Assuming this is his only arrest ever in his lifetime, he should be able to file a citizenship. You're allowed to have a bad day. The case was dismissed. It was a minor offense. They dismissed the case. You should be okay.
All right. And so is the immigration law going to change now with the new president? Is everything going to change?
I don't know. Magic 8 Ball. Joe Biden wins.
Oh my God.
Is the immigration laws going to change? It says Magic 8 Ball says you better rely on it. So the answer is yes. How do I know when the immigration laws are going to change? Magic 8 Ball says yes. But yeah, you're okay with the case, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Kadiatu in Seattle. Kadiatu.
Hey, hi Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I have 2 questions actually. I seek an asylum 2015, November 2015. Up to now, I've never been called for an interview or anything. But I have my social security, my working permit, and my driver's
No,
license.
this is my advice, because to everybody out there who has this situation.
Yeah.
First of all, you need to review your asylum case with a really good lawyer and make sure, number one, you have a winning asylum case. Because, all right, because if you do, then you should be doing what's called either a pre-litigation mandamus, that's what I call it, just you threaten a mandamus, or actually file a mandamus, which is a lawsuit in federal court to force the U.S. government to interview you and give you your asylum. But you only want to do that if you have a winning case. The last thing you want to do is do that and find out you got a loser and then end up in deportation. So, I mean, anybody who has a pending asylum case more than a year should be considering that, assuming they have a good case. All right? So that's the answer. Other than that, you're going to wait forever.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, so the second question is, like, I have all the, like, I can't even go to Canada. I'm just asking a question. Like, I can't travel at all. I don't have nothing that I can do.
No. What you can do is figure out if you have a good winning case and then threaten a lawsuit, file a mandamus, and get an interview and finish the case up. All right?
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go to Munta in the Bronx. Munta.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Brown.
Good evening.
How you doing? How's the family?
Really good. Thank you very much. What's going
Thanks
on?
for your hard work. Thanks for your hard work.
My pleasure. What's going on?
All right. My question is, I came to this country in 2008. I did not come with visa. I came as a refugee, and I applied for political asylum. And my asylum was denied. And I'm currently on supervision. I do have wife and 3 children, and I do have a pending case, which is my pending case is
I-130.
No, not I-130. I did apply for. I filed for I-130. The I-130 was approved. I did it by myself. The pending case that I have currently is U visa, and also I have a pending stay of removal.
Right.
And I did call your office last time to see if I'll be able to come over to see if you can go through my papers. If there's any way you can help me out.
Right.
And unfortunately, I couldn't get through, and I decided to stay online to see if I could reach you.
All right. So this is so you're married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right. So you have asylum. You're on supervised release, which means that you lost your asylum, but they can't deport you back to your home country for whatever reason. You have a U visa, which may prevent you from getting deported because you were the victim of a crime. You're married to a U.S. citizen. There's all sorts of ways to help you. We got to figure it out. Hold on. You want to see me? I can have you speak to Fernanda offline, and we'll figure it out. Let's go to Aishat in Chicago. Aishat.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's going on?
Yeah, sir, my husband is a green card holder, so he was supposed to file for his citizenship. But because of the COVID-19, they've not invited him for the biometric. So and he filed for me. I got my I-130 approved.
Great.
But I got a letter from the NVC that my visa number is available.
You're going to wait for him to become a citizen. How'd you come to the United States?
Oh, I came visiting.
How long have you been here?
18 years.
Okay, you're not going to go home because you're going to have to do a provisional waiver, and that's going to take at least 18 months to do. Your husband's going to be a citizen a lot faster, and you'll be able to get your green card here. Don't worry about the biometrics. They're using his old biometrics. His case is still processing. And from the National Visa Center, the only thing I would write is, please transfer my case back to USCIS. I intend to adjust my status.
I beg your pardon?
Write the National Visa Center, because they wrote you and said, okay, you don't want to process that because you would go, where are you from?
Nigeria.
You would have to go back to Nigeria, number one.
No.
Number two, there's a proclamation against coming back from Nigeria from Donald Trump, so you'd be stuck there anyway. Number three, you need a provisional waiver, which takes 18 months. You're going to wait on your husband's citizenship. If you need help with his citizenship, if it's taking so long, hold on one second, but wait on his citizenship. It shouldn't be much longer. Okay?
Okay.
Let's go to Iffy in Alexandria, Virginia. Iffy.
Hello, good evening, Brad.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. I used to, before I filed, I got the health insurance from DC, and now I'm married and I'm under my husband's insurance, and I have an interview. So I know that they already took out the public charge. There's an injunction, but is it going to affect me when I go for interview?
Yeah, but the public charge is back, by the way, now. It's a seesaw. What is the medical that you have?
Just medical health insurance.
What kind of medical health insurance?
Medicaid.
You have Medicaid?
Yes.
Why do you have Medicaid?
Medicaid. They in DC, when you're a DC resident, you can get Medicaid. So I don't think you have
Medicaid. Maybe you have
Medicaid or Medicaid.
Maybe you have Medicaid for your children, but they wouldn't. No. You don't. There's no way you have Medicaid. Medicaid is from the U.S. government. They're not giving it to you. You have something else.
I had at least I had an insurance from the DHS, Department of Health.
Well, the answer is if you have Medicaid, you have a problem. I don't think you have Medicaid, but if you do, you have a problem. All right, so hold on one second, all right?
Oh.
All right. Later in the show, I'm going to speak with music artist and producer Tessellated, whose original song I Learned Some Jazz Today was used in the Emmy-nominated Apple AirPod commercial Bounce. But right now, in today's Attorney Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre discusses the status of the courts during the COVID-19 pandemic.
The immigrants who are detained basically in immigration jail, they have had their court hearings going forward. So that's Varick in New York, that's also Ulster County and Fishkill. As of now, the non-detained docket, which is people who are not in jail and who are basically outliving their life, but they are basically in immigration court. The New York City courts are closed. They've been closed since March. In New York with Varick and Fishkill and Ulster County, they're only doing detained dockets. That's all they're doing. So some places around the country, they are only conducting detained docket hearings because someone's life and liberty is at stake. They are now detained and they want to get out, right? Whether they are released with some form of relief, whether they are deported, but people don't want to sit in jail, right? So at this point, it's really important that you have their hearings and that they be conducted in some manner. The judges would call me while I was on lockdown at home. They would call me on my landline to basically conduct the hearing.
And by the way, if you did not get an opportunity to ask your question, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein, you can drop me a DM. I'm happy to answer your question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Bradshaw Live. As Ness-Quick said earlier in our show, you can't watch 2 hours, but you have 2 minutes, best 2 minutes on Instagram at Bradshaw Live on Instagram. Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in.
Charlie Wilson on YouTube asks, I have a friend who has been issued a DV visa, but subject to PP 10014. So I guess that's the passport?
I have no idea what 10014 means.
Okay, do you think even if Trump loses, will he extend the ban? Secondly, what is the best time to purchase a ticket?
Well, he could extend the ban all he wants, but if he loses, he's not the president on January 7th, and Biden, I'm sure, will have a lot to say about immigration bans after January 7th. Vanessa.
Yes.
T-Dave305 on YouTube. What is the adjustment of status timeline for an asylee?
Over a year to 3 years, but if it's more than a year, you should be filing a mandamus.
Okay, Debbie Ann Greatness Lindo on Facebook asks, I've been married for 2 years, but my husband hasn't filed taxes in forever. How do I file that way?
You want your husband to file for you, let's start by filing back taxes for your husband. and joint for the last 2 years. And if you can't afford to pay your taxes, enter into a payment plan or try to negotiate your tax debt down. There's lots of lawyers who do that.
Sam British on Facebook. My VAWA was recently approved. However, my green card status for request for evidence has not moved since February of 2019. What can I do to expedite this?
How long has the VAWA been approved since?
He just says it was approved. It was recently approved.
So if it was recently approved, then you got to wait about a year to adjust your status. So just hang in there.
Okay, Brad, we're reading all questions.
Yes.
Adnan on Instagram asks, what will happen to immigrants if Biden wins? What if Trump wins?
What will happen to immigrants? We'll all still be here if Trump wins, and we'll all still be here if Biden wins. But if Biden wins, the presumption is that there may be immigration reform. The big issue is that if the Democrats don't take the Senate, we may have a situation where we have a House of Representatives that wants immigration reform, a president who wants immigration reform, and it being blocked by the Senate. So we don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Okay, this one comes from Anthony on Facebook. My friend has a claim for derivative U.S. citizenship. He's about 45 now, so he falls under the old immigration law, INA 321. His mother became a U.S. citizen when he was about 15 years old. At that time, he was a permanent resident. His mother never married his father, but his father's name is on his birth certificate. Does he have to claim to U.S. citizenship?
Yes.
Carol Reed on Facebook asks, how long does it take for an adjustment status to be approved through marriage? I did my interview in November 2018 in Virginia, and every time I call, they're still saying reviewing the case.
That means they're going to give you a Stokes interview. You probably need to do a mandamus.
Anonymous, can you change your job on an F1 visa while USCIS approval is still pending for STEM extension?
Yes.
Earl Eugene Hello on YouTube asks, if a charity organization pays my friend's hospital bill without her knowledge, will it stop her from entering the USA when she's ready to come back to the US?
No, she's fine.
Miloslava Mikov on YouTube. Oh, wait, that's the following one. God is Merciful on YouTube. Can I submit the current I-485 that is on USCIS's website? The expired date is 10/31/2020.
Whatever the most recent one on the USCIS website, use it.
Okay, Miloslav Minkov on YouTube asked, my VAWA was filed in 2015, approved in 2019, but still no AOS interview. How long does it usually take?
1 to 2 years.
This one also came from Milos on YouTube. What do you think will be the future of immigration in the U.S.?
I think we're all going to be okay. I promise you. I think we're all going to be okay. Yo-yo.
Oh, we like that. All right, DZ Infos on YouTube asks, I had an admin closed removal proceeding case and I left the U.S. Now I'm requesting an IR1 visa. Do I need a waiver for the admin closed removal case, or am I going to get denied for that?
You self-deported, so you need a 212 waiver, and maybe you even need a 601 waiver if you overstayed by more than a year.
Kelsey Thompson on YouTube. I studied abroad for 2 semesters, 5 months each. I put my foreign addresses on my N400 application. Will this affect me?
Yes, if you were out of the country for more than 6 months to file your citizenship, yeah.
James Doob on YouTube asked, hey, Brad, I've applied for an SB1 visa and passed the first interview. The embassy just told me they can't process my application due to Presidential Proclamation 10014. Wouldn't I qualify for an exception?
Well, there are national interest exceptions. I would argue that you're a permanent resident of the United States, but certainly it's worthwhile to give us a call.
Nini Suri on YouTube. Can someone in custody request to return to their country of origin in master hearing asylum proceedings and cancel/revoke/withdraw the claim?
You could always leave and self-deport. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, Michael George on YouTube asked, I got my green card recently through marriage. I withdrew my asylum case recently. Is it any trouble applying for a passport from my birth country?
You should not have a problem.
Village Ram on YouTube. I have an approved VAWA. My C31 work permit is about to expire. Do I have to pay for another C31 card?
No, you should get it for free.
Motun Rayo Darudula asks, what documents do I need to file for my stepchild in Nigeria?
Your marriage certificate to prove that you married the spouse. I'm not sure if this is a man or woman asking, that you married your spouse before the child turned 18, the child's birth certificate, which would indicate that your spouse who you're married to is the mother or father of that child, along with any divorce decrees terminating prior marriages, that your marriage is legal. Plus proof you're a citizen.
Shirley Smith on YouTube. When will the embassy in Nigeria open up? My husband's interview was waived because of the virus.
I don't know.
Mel Byrne on Facebook asks, my sister submitted our mom's paperwork to NVC after getting the I-130 approved. She called for an update and was told she needs to complete the presidential proclamation. Can you please tell me what and where this is?
You don't complete a presidential proclamation. Trump completed the presidential proclamation. What they're saying is she's not eligible for a green card until January 1st when the proclamation is over.
Salman Muhammad on Facebook had a Stoke interview in April 2019, and today I received the RFE for Just Medicals. The letter states that they need RFE to make a final decision on my case. Is 485 approved after sending medicals?
Sounds like it. Congratulations.
Awesome. B on Facebook asked, I applied for the N400 as a bride. However, while I was waiting and the application was in process, my husband asked for a divorce. How do I prepare for the N400 interview now?
You're getting, I don't know what you mean by bride. If you're saying you're basing it on 3 years of a bona fide marriage, you're not entitled to a green card anymore. If you're saying I filed and I was married and now I'm getting divorced and I had nothing to, I'm filing based on 5 years of a green card, well then bring in proof that you're going through a divorce. I don't think it really affects it.
Zach Latif Rahman on Facebook. If living with my spouse, how do I add him to show financial support by electronic bill and to a joint account if his passport is expired?
How do you put joint documents together? You got to speak to each particular, utility. I don't know. I can't tell you use this document for Con Edison or whatever. Try to add him on, and if not, when you file your adjustment, he'll get a social security number and a work permit, and then you'll add him on.
Okay, Dora Explorers on Facebook asked, is there any implication for an LPR who has been out of the country for 6 months due to COVID?
Yes, if you've been out of the country for more than 6 months, they have a right to question whether you've given up your permanent residence, COVID or no COVID.
Baha Ediel on Facebook. I have an admin closed case on removal proceeding, and I'm outside of the U.S. now applying for an IR1 visa. Do I need a waiver for that?
What happened? Say it again.
They have an admin closed case of removal proceeding.
Yes. So they self-deported, so they need a waiver. 2 more.
Okay, Joan Ambitious Powell on Facebook asked, can my husband do an adjustment of status for my son who's over 21 and is on an F1 visa?
If there's an I-130 approved and his priority date is current, but that takes about 5 years.
Last one comes from Marge Higgs. My friend's VAWA has been approved over 2 years. Her husband is a green card holder. She has a pending adjustment. Should she be worried? Is this too long?
No, she should be okay.
2 years.
She'll be okay. Why her adjustment takes 2 years, I don't know. But she should be okay. All right. I recently spoke with music artist and producer Tessellated, whose original song, I Learned Some Jazz Today, was used in the Emmy-nominated Apple AirPods commercial Bounce. Tessellated and I spoke about his experience as a dual Jamaican American citizen, his music, and his thoughts on the current state of American politics. Let's watch. Jamaican American singer and producer Tessellated gained the attention of Apple with his song I Learned Some Jazz Today, which was featured in the company's 2019 Bounce AirPod commercial and hit #1 on the Billboard Jazz charts. Tessellated joins me to discuss his music, his career, and experience splitting time between Jamaica and the United States. Thank you very much for coming on, Tessellated. You're in Kingston right now, right?
Yes, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I'm in Kingston right now.
Well, thanks for coming on. Let's first listen to some of your song, I Learned Some Jazz Today.
I just learned some jazz today, it's true. He just learned some jazz today, and
You're based between Kingston and LA now, but where did you grow up?
So I grew up completely in Kingston, all the way up until I was 18, at which point I moved to Orlando, and I lived there for 2 years. I was doing a music program, and then since then, I've been in Los Angeles for about 3 years.
So what is your family's immigration story?
So luckily for me, I'm actually a dual citizen because my mother is American, my father is Jamaican. My mother also grew up in Jamaica, but she was born in America, up in Maine. So immigration wasn't ever a problem for me.
You got a U.S. passport when you were a kid then, basically,
Yeah, I have a
because
US
your mom
passport.
was a U.S. citizen. You
Yeah.
were an automatic citizen at birth, even though you were born outside the U.S. That's really lucky for you because you
No,
come to
definitely.
America and they welcome
Definitely.
you as an American. And then when you go to Jamaica, they welcome you as a Jamaican.
Exactly.
So when did you start playing instruments?
Before I can really remember, to be honest, but I'm told it's around 4 years old. So I started with drums, xylophone, and then when I got a little bit older, like, early teenage years, preteen years, I was taking more action on my own to learn different things. So I started, picking up guitar, piano, and, I had some friends who were kind of interested in music too. It wasn't as much like creation at the time, but more just playing.
Do you know who introduced you to music?
I believe it was my father, and he's a very big music appreciator, as well as my mother. He was the one that first, brought forward initiatives to let's get the kids kind of interested in music from an early age. In general, aside from the playing, my family is just big on a lot of different styles of music, so I was exposed to a lot from an early age, like whole heap of old school R&B, Motown era, Michael Jackson, then like soca and calypso. Like part of my father's family is from Trinidad, so they were very big on like steel pan and like calypso music.
What age did you go from, you know what, this is fun, to I can make a career of this?
The age where it really went from, okay, this is fun and I like to do this, to, oh, I can actually make something out of this, was about 16. So when I was like 15, 16, I started picking up production, right? And DJing. And that's when I started really creating music and getting into things. First, it was just remixes and stuff, but I started doing my own original compositions. And it was really fun. I really loved it. And then it just got into me doing, more research on the industry. Most people look at music and they're really only seeing like the superstars. So it's kind of, a lot of times you think it's like it's an all or nothing. You get me? Like you're either the Beatles or you're going to be homeless. Also, a lot of people are not that knowledgeable about it. A lot of the artists I was following were more upcoming artists, right? And I'm looking at certain people, I'm realizing like, okay, like this guy is not huge necessarily, right? This guy has like maybe a couple 100,000 plays on some songs, a few thousand followers, but he's actually paying his rent off of music. He's eating food. I'm like, yo, that's not that far off from where I am. Like I could actually do that. And then from then I just started, I kept at it and kept pursuing it. And I had these little benchmarks in my mind. To me, like I have an interesting relationship with the concept of talent, but I feel more of my success so far, and even like the music I've been able to create, is just because like I just make a lot of music. No matter how much some people make music, they're not going to necessarily be a Mozart, but I think a lot of it is the time. A lot of people, if you put in a lot of time to something, you can be really, really good at it.
It's passion and hard work is really what you're describing to me.
100%. If I pull up my computer and look through like my old archives, like I have like literally like hundreds and hundreds of beats and song ideas, most of which never finished, but all those are part of the process.
How do you describe your music?
It's probably the number one hardest common question I get, but I think the easiest way for me to describe it and the most accurate way would to be a fusion. It's a fusion based in Caribbean music, and that incorporates elements of different genres from all over the world, which would include like jazz, hip hop, R&B, Latin styles like some bossa nova, Cuban influenced. The style is not static, the level of the blend changes. So I think that's the best way to describe it.
You sit down, you say, I'm going to write a song today. How do you do it?
It doesn't normally go like, I'm going to write a song today. So a
Right.
song pops up and says like, yo, you need to write me down right now. You get me? It happens a lot when I'm driving, actually. Like I'll be driving and like a melody idea or something comes into my head and I voice note it. So I'll hum some ideas out or whatnot just into a voice note just so I remember them a little bit later because, you know, it's so easy to forget them. And then typically for me, because I was actually producing and playing instruments before I started singing, it's natural in my process to work on the beat first and in the music first. So at times I'll start with either drums or instrumental line. So like maybe it's like some chords or a melody idea or a bass line. And after that, you know, I'll lay out the beat, and the beat normally then inspires the lyrics. I actually work on the melody of the chorus first and figure out the melody and the flow of it, and then I fill in the words afterwards. A lot of times, like I listen to music on a regular basis just for fun and just for enjoyment and also gain inspiration for it.
How did your original song, I Learned Some Jazz Today, end up in Apple's advertisement for their iPods commercial called Bounce? That propelled your career, right?
It's interesting because that song was actually one of the first songs I ever recorded, and it was the first song I ever released as a vocalist. And that was all the way back in 2016. 3 years later, a music supervisor at Apple heard that song along with some other songs I had and they reached out to me. And well, at the time, I actually didn't know who it was for. You know, I was kind of reached out to like semi-anonymously just to say
they just discovered you from SoundCloud.
Yeah, simple as that.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
They reached out and, you know, started working on some things, and yeah, just, you know, created the new version of the song. That's the one out, and I re-recorded it, added new production, extended the song, you know, added some more instrumentation, and yeah, it just became what it is today. It was a very kind of smooth process, I would say, working with them. Very enjoyable for sure.
Now, the ad was nominated for an Emmy. Your
Yes.
music obviously had a lot to do with it.
Yes.
And it reached #1 on the Billboard charts for jazz. How did that make you feel?
It's kind of a surreal feeling, to be honest, because, you know, it's something that same thing. I think that's the most satisfying part of it to me, that like the people are actually like loving the music, like the individual people, but naturally it doesn't hurt. The Emmy nomination doesn't hurt.
It certainly the royalties don't hurt either, right?
Definitely.
So now you currently have an album out, right? What is the name of your album that you have out?
It's about to come out, actually.
About to come out.
Yes, it's called Tropics Volume 1.
One of the first song that's going to come out from your album, Pia, is No Answer. That's going to be the first song that's... All right, let's listen to a little bit of it.
No answer. No answer. No answer. Answer. Hey, ring pan it. Make she sing when she fling all the thing pan it. Appleton we a sip and a gin tonic. So put your hip on it.
Okay, so that's amazing. So congratulations on all of this. What's going to be next for you?
Right now, you know, it's a kind of weird place for the music industry in general. I was about to head to South by Southwest and do a couple shows there, and just like supposed to go to the UK. Like, my publisher is based in the UK, so I'm supposed to go over there and do some work. And everything is just kind of up in the air right now. And that's the same for everybody in the world.
In every industry.
Every industry. The real thing is just to do what I can do, which is really to, you know, keep creating music. You know, like luckily I'm healthy. I'm in a space where, you know, I'm able to create. So for me, I guess it's just keeping that mental space of creativity going and allowing myself to keep the music flowing regardless of whatever is happening. So, you know, by the time things are somewhat better and we're maybe able to go out or able to do shows and things, that everything is ready and prepared for that.
Now, when you first came to the United States for college, you were also, besides a musician and coming to study music, you were also a community organizer, and you had organized a protest. Tell me about what you organized and what you were protesting.
You know, Trump had just been elected. There's a lot of tension in the air, right? Especially, I feel like in Florida. Florida is a very just volatile place in general. What it was almost more of us coming together as a community and standing for each other to make each other know that, like, okay, cool, this person is in the office right now. However, that doesn't change what we stand for. So we don't stand for this hateful rhetoric, right?
Right.
We support immigrants, right? No matter where you come from, no matter the color of your skin, whatever. So it's more of just making our voice heard and speaking out. That me and a couple of friends said, all right, we're gonna do this just because we felt like we had to do something, right? We couldn't just sit down and do nothing, and the energy was just there. And it ended up being like over 2,000 people, and that actually started a series of events like that. Like, well, nowadays people are getting much more comfortable with it, which is just demonstrating, making yourself heard, because it's one of the most effective ways to really show where you stand on certain issues and show that certain things are not going to be tolerated.
What are your thoughts? What's going to happen here in America?
I think one thing is important that you said, is the racism that continues, because I think a lot of people have been unaware that this is how it's been. The only difference now is people are actually seeing it. Anywhere something happens, someone is capturing that on a phone, and not only is it being captured, but it can't be held down because people have Twitter, people have Facebook, and people kind of send messages directly.
Right.
So it's once something significant happens or injustice is happening, people are going to hear about it. What Trump has done is, I don't think he's made anybody necessarily racist, but he's made the people who are racist or have those racist feelings, he's emboldened them to be proud about it, right? Because the thing is, Black Lives Matter movement started under Obama. So it's not to say that nothing has gotten better, but there's still so much work to do. And it's important to just look at the bigger picture. So I'm honestly not sure what's going to happen. I don't think anybody is, but I think the fact that people are aware and they're pushing for something to happen is a big step.
Turn the ship in the right direction.
Oh, 100%. Now, even if it's a minority being affected, the majority of people are speaking up because the majority of people see the injustice.
Building on that, what are your thoughts on immigration? I'm sure you have lots of friends in Jamaica who want to come to America, have problems, and et cetera.
No, it's crazy. On many levels, I've seen it, right? For example, like one of my best friends, actually, who I lived with for about a year in LA. He's from Jamaica, amazingly talented, hardworking painter, graphic designer, animator. He actually went to school, did a 4-year degree in America, and moved to Los Angeles. As soon as he moved to Los Angeles, just given like the quality of his work, he got a lot of offers for different positions. He was able to work for the year after school, off of the grace period. But even though he went through all the proper processes, he had great jobs from some crazy different places, like animation houses and art museums and different stuff on the table. They didn't even like get back to him on his visa for about, I think, like 10 or 11 months. And at that time, all they told him was like, oh, we may require some more information to like further process the thing. But by that time, like his year is up,
Right. And they got to apply all over again.
He has to apply all over again. And then if he's to stay over now, then he could get deported. Right. All these things. So it's very discouraging a lot of the times.
It's a problem with immigration right now. First of all, everybody came from somewhere.
Exactly.
And number two, America was built on immigration. Tell me what you think is the American dream.
It's an interesting question because I think everyone has their own definition of it. But I think the American dream, if anybody works hard enough, they can do anything they want to do, right? And there are a lot of opportunities because, like, even for myself, being able to like move to Los Angeles and build up on things and get an upper placement or get an Emmy nomination just off of being someone in Jamaica who is building beats in a computer. However, I'm not going to deny that even for me to be able to do that, I was afforded a lot of privileges that a lot of other people don't have. So, for example, the fact that I'm a dual citizen has opened up a lot of doors for me. The same thing after school, I was able to say, okay, well, I want to move to Los Angeles. I'm making enough money to do it, so I can do it, right? So not to say that I didn't have to work for that. I had to, make those musical connections and make that income and do different things. A lot of the things even more determined by just like the color of your skin, because up to a certain point, like if you weren't white, you literally could not do certain things, right? And then nowadays, it's not that because technically, obviously, like we had a black man as a president, it's not that you cannot do certain things, but
so
it's
much
more
harder. You're not starting at the same equal playing field.
Exactly.
Where can people find out more about you and your music?
haven't forgot this is like a music interview for a second, you know. We're talking about so many different. No, yeah, but I love that. I love because you know, I think regardless of musician, lawyer, whatever we are, we're all people at the end of the day, right? And these issues affect all of us. You can find me on all music platforms at Tessellated, and for most of my updates, you can find me on Instagram at TessVibe. You know, latest updates on videos, like what I'm doing, things I'm working on, everything that's coming out. And other than that, you know, you can tap in with me, send messages. I'm super responsive. I like to get back to everybody if you have any questions or if you want to share things with me.
I think your career is going to shoot up. Tessellated. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
All right, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, I have the results.
Did you get an update?
Yes, of the Brad Squad poll. How did the squad vote? In person, by ballot, drop off. 54% voted in person, 32% voted by mail, and 14% did drop off. So almost 4 in 10 either mailed or dropped off, which is why all of these, you know, this is a microcosm of what's happening around the country, where all of a sudden we went to sleep last night and Trump was winning, but then they start counting all these mail-in votes and drop-off ballots, and all of a sudden we're like, whoa, Biden's winning.
Right.
Because
Well,
4 in 10.
what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to cut you off, but Arizona's blue right now.
It was, yeah, let's keep it that way.
So I think it's officially his.
Oh, it officially turned.
It official?
Jill, is
Fully blue.
Is that what everybody's seeing? Arizona has been called for Biden?
I'm getting a few messages on the side, and I just Googled it, but if the squad in the back could double check that, Arizona is officially blue.
That means wow, that means it's just Nevada now, if that is the case.
Yeah.
Yes, AP, the Associated Press, has called Arizona in favor of Joe Biden. That means he is Nevada, and he is the president.
Oh, wow.
We need one state.
No big deal.
And we don't have to worry about any lawsuits in Pennsylvania, which is where Trump is concentrating right now.
Right. You concentrated on the wrong thing.
And Georgia has not been called yet either. Georgia has not been called. Nevada has not been called.
No, Georgia hasn't.
Pennsylvania has not been called because they're counting a lot of votes in Atlanta right now. It's very possible that Biden wins Georgia.
Oh, gosh. That would be wild if he wins Georgia.
All right, we're going to know a lot more tomorrow, guys. Hold on. But in the meantime, we got to answer 9 immigration questions in 50 seconds.
Do it.
All right, what do we got?
All right. Can an immigrant living in the U.S. apply for a visa without leaving the country?
Living in the U.S., you don't apply for a visa.
Do I need to file out of DS 5540 before an interview?
Yes.
Can I waive my I-912 for my citizenship application?
Yes, you can do a waiver of the fee.
After becoming a U.S. citizen, do I surrender my permanent resident card?
Yes.
Can I get an I-551 stamp if my passport is expired?
Yes, on an I-94, they'll do it.
Is it required to file for an I-944 for a marriage green card?
Yes.
Can I apply for B2 while waiting for a J1 visa presidential proclamation?
Yes.
Do I need a joint sponsor and the substitution sponsor income is not sufficient?
Yes.
Can you file for a family if you have a 10-year green card?
What?
Last one, we were right there.
Green card.
What about a 10-year green card?
Can you file for family if you have a 10-year green card?
You can file for your children, yes. You can file for a spouse, yes. Damn. Effing pumpkin. There's only from the pumpkin. Yeah. Wait till Biden's president. Wait till Biden's president. We're going to be winning this every day.
Every day.
Yeah. All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day. What do you got?
All right, y'all. First comment of the day comes from Hadi Shiraz saying, best attorney in the world. I told you yesterday, Biden is president. I really had a dream about him Monday night, and I wake up around 1:30 in the morning and told my friend Mo, who was visiting. Listen, I have a friend that said the same thing. They had a dream that Biden was president. I said, I'll take it. So,
and he told his friend Mo. Right. That was the best part of it.
Right, right. And now told all of us.
Yeah, the best part of the comment was he told his friend Mo, who will vouch for him. He will vouch. I had a dream.
Our next comment of the day comes from Miss Sunshine, and she says, seems like Biden has it, but I haven't slept yet.
Yeah.
Same, sister. Yeah. Same.
Yeah. All right, our third comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, Uncle Brad, all your students have their master's degree in listening to you.
Oh, very nice. Thank you very much.
Good.
Our next one comes from Mr. Skyline. Go Biden. Hey, Brad. Hopefully Biden will win, and hopefully Obamacare and immigrants are safe.
I hope so, too. It looks that way.
Yes, yes. And we have one last one. And this is about Tessellated, which was an awesome interview. Good job, Brad, on that.
Thank you.
This is from Clifford Gordon saying, this brother kind of sounds like Prodigy. Them need a collab with Chronix and Kalanji too. Those are pretty dope rappers as well. So that would be a dope collab.
That would be very good. All right. Yes. Hopefully we'll have some better, we had some good news today. We went to sleep last night with some bad news. We had some good news today. Hopefully we have better news and a finalization of this by tomorrow or Friday. Let's go Nevada. We'll see you all. Thank you, Yonathan. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, crew. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Brad.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?